tell the truth.
Information is power.
You're listening to the Information Man Show.
That's right.
On these YouTube streets, you're getting truth over here. You've been spending your week listening to nonsense. Let's get down
To the truth. That's right.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today.
Let's hear some truth today.
Hey, it's time.
For that truth. And I appreciate everyone coming over today because we got to tell that truth like it is, everybody.
That's right. Definitely make sure.
If you have not, definitely make sure that you have hit the like button, subscribe if you are new
to the channel.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
What's up, everybody? We're going to get into it, and I appreciate everyone that's here. We got to tell the truth today.
and we're going to tell the truth. I appreciate everybody. I'm going to give everyone a clap that's here because you're spending of your time. I'm going to talk about the Shanquella Robinson circumstance. Here's a picture as I had up there before. I appreciate everyone that's coming through. That's the mother, I believe the aunt, and Shanquella Robinson is over to your right side. Now, I covered this story like many people on YouTube. Some information that we got wrong because we got misinformation in the beginning when we talked about that they had actually arrested someone in this case. Everyone on YouTube jumped out the window on that one because we believed that the reporter in Mexico was telling us the truth in terms of how things go in Mexico. It is true that this crime did not happen on American soil, as we all know that. And that the question is, how much jurisdiction does the United States have? Now, when I had the Empower Esquire on, she said that, well, maybe the family could take out a civil suit because remember, these things are still pending. Maybe they'll take out a civil suit against these individuals that you see here. Let me put this up here. Remember, I showed all of this earlier when this whole thing first got started. The update from the Robinson family. Not only did Dajanay Jackson fight Shanquella, but all three girls fought her. We have Winter Donovan, Elise, Dajanay Jackson, Khalid Cook, Malik Dreyer, all these individuals, and the family has already said you can't call them friends because if they were friends, this would have never happened. We figured that, hey, there's going to be some justice here. How can they get away with this? She was killed. We have the evidence. Are they telling us that our eyes are lying to us? We have the visual, at least what was presented to us. And let me put this up here. Let me put this visual. This was when they, here it is right here, folks, excuse me. This is when, and let me know if you can hear me by putting a 7 in the chat room. I see everyone that's here. I appreciate you all that's here. The Empress Goddess has just dropped me a $5 super chat. And what do we say to that? We say, with all delivered speed, we say thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
And we say clap to you. Queen, I Know I Am is in the house here. Jill's Chocolate Boutique is in the house here. Another CG is here. And Beverly Palmer is here. A lot of great folks here. Now, remember, we saw the video. This is just the still footage of Shanquella Robinson fight on video. And one of her friends kept telling her, Shanquella, fight back. And he's laughing and giggling. Well, not laughing and giggling, but he's talking about, won't you fight back? But nobody intervened and stopped this from happening. So then you have to ask yourself, what's really going on? Why were they able to go back to the United States? No authorities have arrested them. These individuals you see on the screen, none of them have been arrested in this this horrific criminal act. Winter Donovan, Malik Dreyer, Khalid Cook, Elise Height, Dajanay Jackson, who people say was the one that was fighting Shanquella Robinson. I want to know what's going on. The family wants to know what's going on. Today, I'm going to have a panel and have people come on and give their opinions, but I want us to stay focused, laser focused on the logic of the facts that we know, what we know or what we think we know. Why would they not get justice? Why would this happen? Why would the Injustice Department say that they're not going to file any criminal charges federally. This is federal. There's state and there's federal. So will the family be able to go after them civilly? When I had the Empire Esquire on, she said, yes, they could certainly try to take out a civil suit. They could probably even go after the authorities in Mexico. Now, that's going to take good lawyers. That's going to take money and resources. But the feds are not going to do anything, ladies and gentlemen. You see, the feds don't really give a damn about black people. We know this to be true because all we have to do is look at the evidence of Emmett Till. Remember that woman Bryant is still alive. Kathleen Bryant, I believe, still alive. It's been proven through documents. She's even admitted herself that she told a fib, and the family wanted the Department of Justice to give justice to the Emmett Till family. Now, as I said before, when I put out my promotions for today's show, we got a Democratic administration in office. Joe Biden said he was going to be the president of social justice. Kamala Harris, she co-signed that. And they can't even get the George Floyd bill has not been passed after what happened to George Floyd. The Emmett Till getting justice and the woman is alive, the DOJ didn't even want to touch it. The Department of Justice under Joe Biden. And it wouldn't have been any better under Republicans either. Don't get it twisted over here. Let me know if you can hear me by putting a 7 in the chat room. I want to make sure that the sound is coming out nice and smooth, just as it should. By hitting a 7, let me know. Thank you. Just Alicia's is in the house. Lions Den's in the house. Your favorite couple is in the house. I thank all of you that are coming in, and I will have a panel for people to come up and express their thoughts. But I want us, when we express our thoughts, I want us to stay on focus. This is the key. Emmett Till's family did not get any justice under this Department of Justice, or the No Justice Department under this administration. Now we're hearing this one, that Shanquella Robinson's family, mother, father, remember the father when he came on the social media and expressed his anguish about what had happened to her. And he said he know that it was those folks that she was hanging with that did it. We need justice for Shanquella, or Quilla as the family calls her. The father was literally and figuratively crying, very upset about what took place. The mother as well wants answers. I want answers. You all want answers. And I don't understand why this happened. Why did the Justice Department? Now we're going to give you, I'm going to play some of their statements as to why she didn't get it. But I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to black men, black women, when black people get injured, we go missing. Nobody gives a damn about us. Nobody cares. I'm going to cuss right now because fuck it. It's a bullshit. She should have. She should have gotten justice. Somebody should be. God damn it, they did. You got all this misinformation from Mexico and misinformation coming from the United States. Don't nobody know which way is up. let me show you something just to put it in perspective before we open up everything here. Let's put it in perspective right here. Roughly 50% of people who are murdered, and murder is a legal term in America, cities does not lead to an arrest. Roughly 50% of murders in American cities do not lead to an arrest, according to an analysis by the Washington Post. Alternative article. This number does not account for race or geographics and check this out. You want to know where the source is at? Check this out right here. This article is called Examine Race Inequalities in Unsolved Murder Cases, identifying where unsolved homicides are most prevalent and which segment of the population are most impacted. Guess what? It is black people. Let's go over here and understand this. Murder of black women rose during the pandemic. Solving of these cases have failed. Victims' families set out to find killers as authorities grapple with shifts in clearance rates. They're not solving crimes that are happening to black people and black women. You all know that I did a video on this channel about black women going missing, where everybody was worried about what happened to Gabby. And I don't wish any family members to have their kids go missing. But while everybody was focusing on Gabby and that guy Laundry, nobody focuses on when black women go missing. Black teenagers, black women, black men, black people, nobody seems to care. And as I said, roughly 50% of these homicides, or I'm going to break it down now. That article talks about 50% in general. That's the general population. That's the general population. Okay? Look at this right here. You can look at this article on The Garden. A unexpected epidemic homicide rates increase for black women rivals that of black men. 5 black women and girls were deleted each day in 2020, most of them with guns, gender violence, must be at the center of the gun debate, advocates say. I did that story about black women going missing, and there's a lot of black women that have gone missing in Washington, D.C., Maryland area. But nobody cares. There's black men going missing. Nobody cares. This is why I believe that the Joe Biden administration and their Department of Disaster, because I don't know how we can call them a Department of Justice, because there simply was no justice for the Shanquella Robinson family. Now, if 50% of all homicides across the board in America go unsolved, what is it for black people across the board? Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. For black people across the board, I can't believe
this, but human homicides with black victims.
Unsolved about 49% of the time. You hear me? Homicides with a black victim remain unsolved at about 49% of the time, compared to about 28% for homicides with white victims. So if you are a white person who is victimized, or anyone else, in this case, white people, 28%, there's a high chance that your crime will be solved. When it comes to black people, it's at 49%. And overall in our country, it's at 50% for the overall population. But for black people, that's very high. Black people, check it out. For black people, it's almost as high as the national number. This
is a damn shame. Tell the truth.
So with that said, this is a shame, and we have to understand this lays the groundwork for why this could happen. Now, the Department of Justice, ladies and gentlemen, this is their letterhead in what they said. United States Attorney Sandra, for immediate release, Wednesday, April 12, 2023, the federal office met with the family of Shanquella Robinson, Charlotte, North Carolina. Federal officers with the United States Attorney's Office in the middle of Western District of North Carolina and the FBI met with the family, Miss Shanquella Robinson's family representatives today to offer their condolences. That's all they have to do is give us condolences, folks. We never get any justice. It's all this, I'm sorry, and I'm praying on it. I'm tired. Frankly, I'm freaking tired of us having to pray on some bullshit all the time when other people get justice and we get nothing. Now, the investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Miss Robinson has been a priority for federal prosecutors in the FBI. The FBI has worked diligently to conduct details, thoroughly investigate through their investigation of the evidence available in this case. In coordination with the Robinson family, and the autopsy was conducted in the United States by a medical examiner office in Merckbird County. This whole thing is a damn disaster. Remember, when they went to Mexico, this is the actual signing of everyone who went. Something happened to her amongst these individuals, the Winters, the Dejanay Jacksons, the Malik Dries, the Khalid Cooks, the Elise. What happened? What was going on? And the family already says, don't call them no friends. What we got to show for it is in her memory. This is at the funeral in her memory. This is what we got. But no justice, no nothing. All this time has passed, and we've been asking for the truth. The reporter from Mexico, he basically, I got to be honest, he trolled us. He basically trolled us, and he basically capped us. And that's just the damn truth.
Tell the truth.
That's just the truth. I'm willing to admit that. We were all capped.
Tell the truth.
And we were all led astray by what we thought was truthful information. Now, he came on a lead attorney show. He came on a few people's shows and said that, hey, in Mexico, they're able to get information that maybe the states could not get because by all means, the crime was committed in Mexico. We're going to have a panel. I want to get your opinions, your thoughts. This whole thing is a shame. They set up here and said this. This is the contradictions. United States authorities investigate autopsy showed that there were brain swelling. They ruled the case of the death inconclusive, complete after her body was embalmed. But wait a minute, when she was in Mexico, this is the contradiction. In Mexico, they said the cause of death was what the family was told was alcohol poisoning. What the family says the autopsy shows was injury to the spinal neck. Why is it that the United States autopsy doesn't say that? Somebody is lying. If it was alcohol poisoning, the examiners in the state would have said that. So that means that Mexico is lying. They said that she had a spinal injury to the neck, but they're saying right here that they ruled the cause of her death inconclusive. If Mexico, who is telling the truth? Damn it, I'm freaking mad. I'm mad right now. I'm very
upset about this.
I want to know what's the truth. Mexico says one thing. This is why they got to go do deeper investigation, because Mexico is lying. Something happened down there that in my opinion, I'm alleging that something happened in Mexico that goes beyond what we think really happened. I'm saying to you that all the things that we thought was the case and what happened to her may not be the truth. There is something going on. We know in Mexico, they've got cartels. They prey on Americans. There's something that's not making sense here. Why? And then why did it take them this long, the United States authorities, to tell us that Shanquella Robinson death is inconclusive, meaning they don't know. At least that's
What they want you to think, but that's bullshit.
complete after her body was embalmed. And then you have right here, the DOJ press release on Shanquella Robinson is based on the results of an autopsy after the careful deliberation and review of the investigative material available. What is the investigative material? Do you see they don't tell us that?
Why?
They don't tell us what the information is. The investigative information does not support the federal prosecution. So what is it that needs to meet the threshold for a federal prosecution? They don't even tell us that. The DOJ press release on Shanquella Robinson, it is important to reassure the public. No, you're not reassuring us. You're BSing us. They said in Mexico that there was a spinal breakage, that there was alcohol poisoning. They're lying. So why don't you go investigate the lies of Mexico? Because that tells you that there's something that's not right. Now they're saying that is inconclusive. Prosecuting extensive review of the available evidence and have concluded that federal charges cannot be pursued. Is it that it cannot be pursued, or is it because they don't have the will to do it because this is just another black life that nobody cares about? What do you all think? Then check this out. This is in Mexico. They have no comments on the DOJ's decision. Their investigation remains open. That's the PGJE. That's down there in Baja, California. So the investigation in Mexico, they're claiming, which I don't believe it, but they're claiming that the investigation about Shanquella Robinson's death, the foul play, is still in an open investigation in Mexico. That's what the authorities down there want you and I to believe, that that's what's really going on. Let's come over and listen to a couple of videos. Let's do this right now. Let me pull something up here. I want to pull something up here for you all. Let's pull up the first video and let me know if you can hear me. I hope that you can hear me just fine. Everyone that's watching, share the video, because I would appreciate that so very much. Let's hear what the lawyer is saying. Shanquella Robinson's family lawyer.
We're here today. Obviously, everyone knows that the FBI has released their statement. They don't plan on filing any charges after investigating Shanquella's. Disappointed, but we're not deterred. It's not something that's necessarily always have to carve their own path to justice. Today, literally listening to what we were.
Once again, why we always have to get into this black and brown. This is not happening to Brown. This is a black woman. Every time we hear these stories, it's happened to black people. But we want to get into this black and
being revealing. I thought back to Miss Wanda, Ahmad's mother, who had to take to the state office and had for to speak press in the death of her son. And I remembered Sandra Bland's mother, who had to do the same thing when they told us all that an investigation revealed that her cause of death was suicide. I think most about Shanquella's case, her attack was captured on video, and now I'm told there's going to be an arrest or there aren't going to be any charges brought. Reminds me of George Floyd and how we were told as Derek Chauvin putting his knee in the neck for 8 minutes, 46 seconds, we were being told that he was having a heart attack and that he was suffering from a drug overdose. So we're going to continue on. We're going to demand a level of dramatic intervention in this case. That if you are now have to do something, we don't have a problem with that. We know that we are our patent system doing that from the very beginning. Mrs. Robinson has demonstrated tremendous strength, and I talk about it all the time, as well as having to bury a child, grieve for a child, get through all of that stuff, and then being advised today, well, despite there being a video showing a vicious and brutal attack of your child while she's naked and obviously not fighting back, that there's nothing that can be done in terms of charges being filed by the FBI, that you have to seek your that's fine. Mrs. Robinson, again, obviously all the family at the meeting today. We're deterred. We're still going to be marching. We're still going to rally in DC on May 19th. It shouldn't be that in this country that Black victims of crime have to do this every time they are victims of, but it is unfortunately what it is. And again, any discrepancies or any issues with respect to Mexican autopsies adopted by the FBI, all of those things are going to be a result of it. And now we're witnessing.
All right, I'm going to remove that because it's I'm having some connection problems. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically she's saying that what has happened in the DOJ not bringing charges against individuals involved in this is that it sets a bad precedence that you can go to Mexico as an American, commit a crime, take someone's life, allegedly, and then you can run back to the United States after taking someone's life in Mexico, come back to the United States, and you can walk around free after you took someone's life. Let me play this because that wasn't working very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play for you a soundbite from the lawyer and what she said that I think is very interesting. Listen to this soundbite.
United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base, we're safe, we're not going to be charged.
Could you all hear that right there, what I just played? That's the lawyer that you witnessed that was on the screen, but I'm having some problems. For some reason, I know what the problem is. Whenever I use my streaming content or software and I stream into StreamYards and I show any kind of video into StreamYards, this is where I have the problem. When I don't stream into StreamYards and I stream directly into the streaming system that I usually use, I don't have these problems. It's something about StreamYards that's a mess. And I'm only streaming into StreamYards today because I want to convene a panel of people who would like to talk. Other than that, if I ran this without using StreamYards completely, I could run it like a pro. It's just StreamYards. I don't know what the issues are, but if you could hear that, I'm going to play this for you one more time.
United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base, we're safe, we're not going to be charged.
She's absolutely right. I got to give her kudos for that.
It's the truth.
It's the truth, and nothing but the truth. I got to give her a clap on that.
Tell the truth.
This is very serious. I don't know what the family can do, but what I do know is that this keeps happening, or we can't get any justice, and then you have a Democratic Party that touts themselves on being the social justice party, and yet George Floyd family has got no bill for George Floyd. Black people have been attacked in this country. They have no protection bill that they did for the Asian community. Got one just like that. They have not created any justice for Emmett Till, and the Emmett Till situation is a shut and open case. There's all that data out there. There's all the proof. In this situation, the Joe Biden administration, Kamala Harris, they brought them to the White House. They told them that they were going to try to help them. And then you have the spokesperson, that sister that, what's her name, who gets out there and she keeps saying, oh, we're so sorry. We're so sorry this happened to them, but it's in the FBI's hands. Nothing we can do. Bullshit. Joe Biden is the president of the United States. He has the ability to send billions of dollars to the Ukraine to do what? To perpetrate a war, to promote a war over there. Joe Biden has the power to, at the strike of a pen, he could say right now to that very administration at the DOJ that he appointed, he could very well tell them, reopen the damn case. I want you to open up this case and do more further investigation. Get your asses down there to Mexico. This whole thing about, oh, they can't do anything, it's in the hands, that's bullshit. The Ukrainians were concerned about Russia invading them, and what did Joe Biden do? At a flick of a pen, he gave them billions of dollars and he gave them weapons to keep this war going. It's an indirect American war. So if you got the power to send missiles and all kind of weapons to another country to assist them in their war, which is really your war, it's really the United States war by de facto of using the bodies of the Ukrainians. If you got the power to send them money and weapons and resources, you telling me you don't have the power as president to tell the DOJ to redo their investigation? To have all those individuals interviewed again? The FBI, the CIA, they got all types of gadgets. They got questions they can ask you. They have ways of looking at your eyeballs to see if you lying or not. Of course, they're not going to spend that kind of expense on black people. There's no justice here.
United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base.
Right, you can't do that.
We're not going to be charged.
Right, you can't do that. You can't say, you can't. So it opens up the door that I can. So that means it tells a message to everybody that, hey, if you're going to commit your crime, do it in Mexico. Try to get your American victims in Mexico. Now, I believe that we can't expect that Mexico is going to give a damn about what happened to to Shanquella Robinson. They're racist over there. They're concerned about their tourism. And we talked about this before. This whole thing is a damn shame. Share this video, ladies and gentlemen. This should have never happened. The whole thing should have never happened, but most importantly, there is no justice. I want to see now, and they got to get, look, they got Benjamin Crump ain't no trial lawyer. He's just the guy who cuts the deals. But I think if this family is going to fight this further, they've got to get better representation than Benjamin Crump, in my opinion. He's out of his scope here. They need to get a lawyer or a lawyer to advise them who has experiences with dealing with the DOJ. They need to get a lawyer who has experience with this at the highest level. Not a Benjamin Crump. They need someone who knows how this system right here you see on the screen works. They need truth.
Tell the truth.
This whole thing really pisses me off, ladies and gentlemen. They need somebody that's going to tell them
the truth. They need someone that's going to tell them the truth, that's not going to lie to them, play games with them. They need someone that's going to be very honest. They're getting different stories. Mexico says one thing, the United States coroners are saying another. But at the end of the day, Shanquella Robinson is still not with us. She is no longer in the third dimension. So the question I have for you all out there listening, what happened to Shanquella Robinson? This is the mystery. This is the I want to know. At the end of the day, we need to know what happened to her. They say that the autopsy is inconclusive, meaning they don't know. Mexico's saying all sort of things that we don't know. If they're lying to us, tell what's going on. But at the end of the day, what we do
know is that we don't have the answers as to the mystery of what happened to Shanquella Robinson. And what we do know is that she arrived there with these individuals. And she arrived there alive, and then something went awry where she's no longer alive. What's going on? These individuals get on a plane, are able to come back to America. I'm pissed off, y'all. And they're able to get on their planes and come back and live their best lives. Not arrested by local authorities. So the question is, what Empower Esquire said to me on this channel is, will the family go after them civilly? We have to wait and see if there's a civil case possibility. But then the question is, what type of lawyer would they need? They don't need it. They can't use a Ben Crump. They need an international lawyer to go after the Mexican authorities and see if there's some inconsistencies in what they're doing down there. They need an international lawyer. They need money and resources to get the best lawyers. Benjamin Crump is not, I'm going to keep it real with y'all.
Benjamin Crump is not going to get it. Benjamin Crump is not going to get it.
Y'all understand what I'm saying? Benjamin Crump is out of his scope at that level. With that said, let's get ready to have a panel. I'm not going to play the videos that I had because when I stream my system into StreamYard has a horrible system for how it handles video. That's why normally when I show you guys videos, I normally will go through my regular system and have no problems, but I'm doing this because I want to convene a panel and see what you all have to say. Let's stay focused. I brought up the arguments to you that black people who get deleted like this, our crimes are not solved. 49% of black people in America, when we are deleted, our crimes are not solved. 50% across the board of America, we comprise 49%. 28% of white Americans in our society, when they are deleted, their crimes get solved. I mean, 28% of the time, their crimes are not solved at 28%, but we're at 49%, a hell of a lot higher. Black women, as I said before, are the victims not only of going missing and never having that crime solved, but black women are being deleted. And that deletion was increasing over the pandemic that we came out of. I implore you to check out this article right here by The Garden. An unspoken epidemic homicide rate increase for black women rivals that of black men. Do your research. There's a lot out there in various states like DC, where it was very high, where you have high black population, you have these high issues. The seriousness of this is that this is what's affecting us. This is what's really affecting us in the real world, or some of our women are being affected by this. We spend too much of our time talking about things on the YouTube streets that don't matter in the real world. It has no impact on us as much as these issues have impact. So while we're talking about the relationships between black men and black women, negatively or positively, one of the things that we're forgetting is that our women, our brothers out there, our women are disappearing. Our women are being deleted. And as we talk dirty about black men, there are black men that are going missing in our society, and there are black men that are being deleted. You have that young brother Jelani. Nobody knows what happened to him. I can name you tons of cases where we say, what happened? It's like an X-File movie. What happened? And we get no answers. So let's convene a panel. And thank you, Doe Eyes TV. I appreciate the super chats.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that. For everyone that super chatted me, I'll go ahead and play some super chat celebration. You know how it goes, music and all that good stuff. I appreciate that. But we got to get this panel going for a discussion, for a shoot.
Thank you for the super chat.
Time to run it all. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, just wet. Time to run it all. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Time to run it all. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, just wet. Time to run it all. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Time to run it all. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you can hear me. Hit a 7 in the chat room. Thank you for coming over. What we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit of, I'm going to drop links in the chat room as people come up. We're going to talk about this. Those who want to come up, I want us to get right to the point of the issue. Stay on point of the issue. Stay on focus of the issue right now, because this is the issue, ladies and gentlemen. while we have more important things to worry about within our own selves, we got people on YouTube that's trying to get the bag on us. We have black folks on YouTube who are self-hating, talk about other black folks, self-hate on black folks, dox other black folks. We are becoming our own worst enemy. And that's just a fact, off and on social media and on off social media in some cases. But these are issues that nobody wants to touch, no one wants to deal with. These are facts. Now, I'm not going to get a lot of views on this video because this isn't a sexy video. This isn't something that people want to hear, but it's what you need to know. So let's get ready to bring people up on the panel. Give me 1 minute while I drop links inside the panel area.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
All right. Okay, everybody. I dropped a couple of links in the chat room if anyone wants to come up and give their thoughts about the information that came out. And we have one person getting ready to come up now. So let's see who this is. First of all, I don't know 8 Ball. So let's see, because I know we on these YouTube streets, it'd be a lot of things happening. So let's bring 8 Ball up. And let me see this here. 8 Ball, what's going on? You got to get your audio together, man. All right. Anybody else who wants to come up? I'm not, if that person's coming in with that kind of sound, then that means they're trolling, and I don't have time for trolls. All right, you're trolling. All right. You're trolling, 8 Ball. You coming up with that sound. I'm going to have to get you out of here. All right. Is this let me
Yes,
see.
it's me. It's
All
me,
right,
hear
all
me?
right. Yeah, I can hear you. 8 Ball, I don't know who I'm trying to see. I'm trying to get 8 Ball in here, but he's got some weird sounds going on there. I don't know what that's all about. 8 Ball. Okay, man, your sound's not right. All right. 8 Ball, your sound. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's because it's because you're in the car, man. That's why you're in the car. 8 Ball. You're in the car. That's why you're having a lot of funny feedback, my brother. A lot of funny feedback going on there. Yeah, mute yourself. Your feedback is messed up. Turn that off. Your feedback is terrible. Mute yourself, brother. You got a lot of you're driving, and that's what's causing a lot of the problems. I see you, but I think it's a lot of noise coming from your vehicle. All right. What's going on, Chaos Rain? And we got Sister Kim here. What are your thoughts?
Yes, let me jump down for a minute. Let me go on an actual computer because I'm now just reached back. So let me get to a proper setting. I'll come back in 2 minutes, all right?
That. Okay. Sister Kim.
Yes, can I be?
Yeah, I definitely want to hear you. Go right ahead, sister.
Thank you for having me, Information Man Show. I do watch your show quite often. I enjoy it very much. I think you bring up some very relevant topics worthy of discussion.
Thank you.
I'd like to also greet the chat room. Greetings to everybody in the chat. I just have more of a question than a comment. And I don't know if you know the answer, but I'm just going to put it out here. Is the Robinson family able to pursue anything in Mexico as far as legal remedy?
Okay, that's a very good question. I would reference you back. I don't know if you watched that show, and I should have had her on today, and I may have to do a follow up. Who knows? But I had the Empower Esquire on. She's an attorney at law, and when she was on the channel, she did say that the family could pursue some liability to the hotel and those involved in what they did not do in Mexico. She also made mention of a potential for maybe a civil suit that they could take out against these individuals. Since, remember, we got to keep this in mind. This is the feds that are not going to do anything. But does that mean that the family wouldn't be able to go after them civilly? The problem is this: do they have the money and the resources that it's going to take to pursue an international, because this is international, whether we want to admit it or not. So that means,
it is.
I'm sorry, Benjamin Crump is not going to do it. That's why
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. And this is no disrespect to him. It's just that this is, like you said, this is international. And this might be beyond his scope, if you will.
Right.
Right. I wonder if the family would choose to pursue something inside of Mexico as far as legal remedy, how could we support the family? I mean, they have a GoFundMe for everything else. I mean,
right,
fake schools, etc.
We know
is there some way
we
that we could support the family?
We got a lot of fake schools. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have to identify. I think they do have a GoFundMe and a way you can fund them.
Okay.
But the problem is making sure that it's legitimate, because there's going to be some people out there going to try to take advantage of this. But I think they do have a legitimate GoFundMe and ways that you can support them. My thoughts right now, because I'm going to have to talk to Empower Esquire, my thoughts is the lawyer, and I tried to play that, but StreamYards has so much audio issues. The lawyer is saying that they're not going to stop at this situation, that they're going to continue to pursue justice for Shanquella Robinson. So the question is, should they go, or will they go the civil route way? And then when it comes to international law, I would imagine that they're going to have to pursue a really good international lawyer, a lawyer who knows the laws in Mexico and how to cut through them.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
in this video today, and it was mentioned in the news that there's still an open investigation. This is what's crazy about this. There's still an open investigation in Mexico, even though the United States authorities or federal authorities are saying our hands are clean with this. We don't see enough evidence that we can take it further at the federal threshold of this situation.
Do you think
My
they would
thinking
be
is that
willing
there
to
has to be.
extradite? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. These are good questions you're asking. Go ahead. Continue what you were
So
saying,
I'm
sister.
wondering if at the federal level, if they say, oh, we don't see anything worth pursuing here, would they even extradite these individuals back to Mexico if the Mexican authorities asked for it?
It would have to be the Mexican right now. The only people that could get involved in doing something like that would be at the federal level. So this is what's sad about this, because the feds are saying they don't see a case here, because it can't be the local police or some local, law enforcement that takes them back to Mexico. It would have to be the our feds. But if our feds don't take them back, the Mexican authority could say, hey, we want those Americans arrested and put in our prison, so we want you to bring them to us. Could that happen?
Yeah.
There's a possibility, yes. But then you have to ask yourself, on what grounds would they be able to do that? Because if the FBI is saying that they're not seeing any evidence, then what would Mexico have? And then you got to ask yourself this too, sister. What benefit would it be to Mexico to pursue this case when it may hurt their tourism?
That's another point. But on the other hand, what good would it do Mexico to not pursue it because it may hurt their tourism? Do you see? Do you see what I mean? Because
I do
if
see what you mean.
Mexico gains a reputation, if they gain a reputation of, oh, we can just bring somebody down to Mexico and kill them and come back home and act like nothing happened, is that good for Mexico tourism?
Right. And I was saying that in the system, let me play that again for everybody to hear this again one more time. Listen to this. It goes to your.
United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base, we're safe, we're not going to be charged.
We're not going to be charged.
Exactly.
So that would be creating a system. So now you will have people who might say, I want to delete somebody, so let me figure out how I can get them to Mexico. You see, this is crazy. And do some foul play to them, and then I can get on a plane and fly away. Their family can say, hey, this person was with this person, but now they're it opens up a door to a lot. The other thing that bothers me, what's going on, Stephen Gilmore YouTube channel, and everybody in the chat room, Point Blanks Travel, I see you. Ash, I see you, sister. Empress Queen, Blue Devil Gleam. What bothers me about this is that the American authority says that their autopsy was inconclusive, versus the Mexican authorities are claiming that there was a alcohol poisoning, if you want to believe that, and that there was something that happened to her neck, that it was broken. What is the truth? And what is it's crazy?
Well, we know that nobody gets a broken neck from alcohol, from too much alcohol.
Right.
So we know that there's foul play.
Is crazy. So there's something.
There's clearly some foul play.
Right. And
you also saw the video. I mean, so are they telling us we didn't see what we all know and what we all saw? Come on, we all saw the video.
We all saw the video. You're absolutely right.
We all
heard
the alcohol poisoning claim, which turned out to not be true. So we all know that. So I mean, it's almost like, like what do the people say? They're playing in our faces,
right?
Because we know what we saw. The whole thing is just craziness.
Right.
Yeah.
Something doesn't smell obviously right here. And it makes me
Right.
wonder,
Yeah, there's something wrong.
is somebody, it seems to me, and here I go with the conspiracy theory stuff, but I almost feel like something's being covered up here. There's something that we're
I think
not
so.
being told.
Yes, sir.
They're telling us everything else, but they're not telling us what we really need to know. There's something that doesn't
Right.
smell right about
It
this.
doesn't add up.
Doesn't add up, my sister. It does not add up. And Chaos Reign, what are your thoughts, brother? Chaos.
Mr. Information Man, I'm gonna drop down back into the bushes. I appreciate your time, and I'm just gonna stop and I'm just gonna continue to listen to what everybody else has to say.
But you
Thank you.
made
Thank you so much.
before you go, you made very, very powerful, you asked very powerful questions, and you got me like my head spinning. I'm gonna have to get on the phone and call the Empower Esquire. You got my
Well,
head spinning now
I
because
didn't
you
mean
asked
that.
very
And
powerful
I'm
questions.
familiar with yeah. I'm familiar with the
No.
Empowered Esquire, and I'll find that
Right.
video and see what she and listen to it
Right. It's on
and
the
see what she
channel.
has to say about it.
Yeah, just go through my archives and you'll see the
Uh-huh.
video that I did. I'll put it in the community tab as well that I did with her.
Okay.
And she did say what you said, that they could pursue lawsuits on the ground in Mexico, and they could
Well, I would
pursue
think the
the civil.
resort, the doctor,
Right, the resort
the
and the doctors would all be liable.
the
But the
hospital, anybody who was involved in Mexico with this whole
right.
mess,
But
and
you
we know
got
it doesn't
on.
add up.
But
Seems like
once
there should be
again,
some legal remedy.
legal remedy is absolutely right. But once again, let me say
Yes,
this
sir.
before you go.
So I'm just gonna drop back down and I'm gonna go back to listening.
Okay. Well,
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate you being here, sister. Take care. All right, Chaos Reign. What's your
All right. Thank you, Mr. Information Tank.
All right. It's my thing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
Go right ahead, Chaos.
Because I will listen in both ends. Let me pause this. Information Man, what they might or what they're really going to intentionally do, because everything is global now. This could also cause the United States, with the regular administration or the president, to probably enact a bill that's like a global crime, where if you are, since we are global now, not yet, but we are at that stage now, that if you commit any crime here, you'll be charged in a more bigger global police force.
Right. They made,
because now borders are going to have to be connected now, because the only thing that separates is the fiat currency, but magic money is one that everything has to be unified. So what they do have a claim now, if the parents, which they're going to pursue this more, they have something to use now. You get me? And usually they don't use this with non-black people. They'll use this for us niggas to really push any bill. Anyway, if we want to keep it real. And since she was deleted on camera, they have a claim now to try. I'm not saying it's possible, but this is something that they could use.
This is the thing, though, Chaos Reign. The family would have to prove. See, this is the thing. We have. Let me just show everyone here. We have on camera, or not. We saw the video. As I put this on here, people will probably see a little piece of this. We do know that on video that this took place. But this is the question, Chaos Reign. This is the critical thinking here. We didn't technically see her be deleted. We simply technically saw her be beaten. So now that's the argument that Mexico could say, they could say, well, or anybody could say, well, that video doesn't show that a deletion took place. It simply shows a fight taking place. See what I'm saying? So we have to look at the logic. Now, obviously, we know, or at least what we've been told, and what we know is that, let me put this back up here real quick. I'm glad that you're asking these logical questions like that. We know that Shanquella Robinson is no longer with us, right? We know that. So something happened. And then those folks that she came back over here, they came back over here to America, were able to come back right into their life and do just what they've been doing. She's no longer here. and they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then check this out. Remember, tell me if I'm wrong or right. Was it Khalid Cook? Was it Khalid Cook or Malik Dry who went to the family's house? I think it was one of these two cats here on the right, who went to the family's house after leaving her in Mexico like that. And then when they found out that the family, they told the family one thing, and then when the family found out something different in what they told the family, these cats disappeared on the family and never showed up again. I believe it was Khalid Cook who did not show up anymore. He was hanging out with the family.
Mm-hmm.
Then when the truth came out, they all disappeared away from the family. I just wanted to lay that out.
All of them, all the friends. You get me?
But remember, the mother is saying, the family is saying, don't call them friends because obviously friends wouldn't do this to you.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. Okay. So the family is saying, hey, these ain't no friends. But obviously, we got to be logical. She went on a trip to Mexico. I don't know. I don't know you, brother, but me and anyone else listening, I don't take trips with people that I don't know. Or at least I have no, sort of knowledge about, right? We just don't, Chaos Rain, you don't just travel with strangers, right?
Well, my thing is this. She paid for all these women, her friends to come to Mexico. And I find it very odd.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And let's sidetrack a little bit. Just pause right here. You remember the guy that's son of Malcolm X's grandson? He was deleted in Mexico.
And
that was over a decade ago.
Right. And it was foul play, right?
Yes. So what has happened now? Because Americans, regardless what they said, because they can't prove it. Well, we're not going to detail, but let's be honest. They committed crime. They escaped and came back. And then after there was more deep evidence, now it has to be looked into. And they're not going to stop looking into it now. You get me? Because think about it.
I hear you.
This happened. You took her credit card to get the first trip back home. That tells you right there, you have friends that don't got money at all. You paying for everything. So if anything happens, they'll take what you have to get back home, which really is a red flag, but that's another story. But to find that they come and ate bread with your own kinfolks' house. Now, I'm not sure if that's wicked. I don't know what that is. To tell you how much we are very disconnected. Go ahead.
We got a lot of sick stuff going. Let me check the chat room. I think the other brother, Baller 8, was trying to get in, but I think he's driving in his vehicle and it was just causing all sort of distortions. Just Alicia saying, hey, real Aaron Collins. We've got Kim, Bling, Bar and More is in the house. Thank you for being here. We got we got Healthy G Mom in the house. Good to see you, my sister. Good to see you. I got to ask you this question, Chaos Rain.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's the question that the sister asked me that was up here earlier. And I'm sure you saw the video that I did with the Empire Esquire. Yeah. Do you think the family will take out a civil suit against these individuals that were there with her? And they're going to have to do a hell of a lot better than Benjamin Crump if they're going to go after Mexico, because they're going to need top-notch international lawyer.
They're going to seek justice at all costs. They're going
to
do everything is necessary. And let's be honest. It reminds me like a movie like I know he did last summer.
Sea Breeze 40, what's up? Okay. Go ahead.
They know who did it. They keep it secrets, and they're going to keep it as long as they're not applying the pressure, information man. Now, if this is where the feds would get involved, someone's going to squeal. Let's keep it real. If they really want to apply the pressure on these 4 friends she has, or these so-called alleged friends she have, someone's going to squeal. But as you can tell, because they did this outside American borders, they don't have to really go into apply pressure. Because let's be honest, if they want to do their dirt on certain people, to Americans, the best place to do it is outside the borders. And now we're looking, what we see right now, that might soon come to an end now.
Right.
Because now people are making public outrage of this. For them to show us now over the weekend that there's no charge, you think people are going to sit down and say we're just going to wash your hands in this? No, they're going to produce more. Because now they said if you're a black person, man, woman, especially, hell, you're not even safe in America, but now outside America, they definitely know you ain't safe. So they could easily pick you off easy. I remember there was one dude that graduated from college. He was in Europe and he got into a fight because he was whistling over a white woman in Europe. He lost his life. Nothing fall through. You get me?
Right.
So I'm doing an example that outside America, once you leave here, there's no justice.
Right.
Evidence.
Remember, let me give you another example.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to bring Deborah in too with you. Remember that young brother from who went over to Greece, and I guess he went to like a nightclub or something, and he was trying to talk to one of the females.
That's the one.
I guess those guys didn't, and those guys over there in Greece didn't like the idea of a black guy who was getting all this attention from the women, and I think they end up deleting him. And he was kind of on the conservative tip and all that, all Trump type crap. But that's not the point. The point is that his family never really got any justice for what happened to their son in Greece. And this is why I know we got brothers out here that are into the passport thing, but they got to be careful when you're traveling in these other countries.
Did you know
because
that
you may not get no
friends?
justice if something happens to you?
He had white friends, and his friends watched him.
He had white friends,
and that's the same for what Shanquella. Those are college friends. Man, we can go down the rabbit hole with this, bro. It lets you know that if you're a person, you're in school, and you have so-called friends, unless you're not your friends from the start, don't treat them as anything of deeper friendship because you don't know them that long.
You don't know them that long, and you made a point that was good for everyone to be reminded about, that she used her own money to kind of contribute to this whole vacation that everybody was supposed to enjoy.
Exactly.
Is that correct? I don't want to be incorrect.
No, that is correct. That's correct.
Was she splurging the money for this trip?
Yeah. I don't know. Did I cover this on my channel? Yes, you probably covered this. Go back. This is the evidence.
I'm going to have to go back because there was so much that we talked about over the last few months, way back when, about this, when this whole thing broke out.
It happened in December.
But the bottom line, whether she paid for the trip or not, she still didn't deserve to be deleted.
Exactly.
The bottom line is she went on a trip alive and she never came home alive, but the rest of all of them came home alive. Yeah. So what is their real stories? Because from what I understand, they're all telling, and see, this is what's crazy. Their lawyer said this, that by doing this, you're now giving the people who probably victimize her enough time to get their stories together if this thing goes further. We got Deborah Gunn here, and I appreciate you being up here. Let me give you a clap. I would like to hear your opinions, your thoughts on this unfortunate situation. The family's not getting justice from the federal level. How are you doing, my sister?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you nice and clear. It's good to have you up here for the first time.
Thank you.
Go right ahead. Tell us what's on your mind.
I'm here in Portugal.
Okay.
And I'm aware of the case with the young man that was here in Greece, who was
you know it better than we do.
deleted. And it was actually a couple of guys from Belarus that deleted him. And I remember the family flew over. Greece actually flew his parents over here during the trial.
Mm-hmm.
They caught the guys, and I do believe those guys were arrested.
So, okay, I remember in the beginning, they weren't getting any justice swiftly in the beginning, but thank you for the correction. And when it was all said and done, those people, the guys who did the deletion of this young man, they eventually got arrested. Thank you
I do believe they arrested them. But what I really want to say is, it's really upsetting. It's very upsetting what's happened to her, and because it happened in Mexico, first of all, Mexico should not have let them leave.
Right.
They shouldn't have never let them leave. So there's your first violation, whether they know that whether or not they know if they actually deleted her there or not. They should have been held
Right.
in Mexico. So now that they're back in the States, the family is going to have to get an international attorney.
Right.
They cannot deal, they're not going to be able to deal with Mexico with Crump or anyone like that. They're going to have to probably get someone that isn't even in the States to help
Right. I
them.
was saying, and that's what I was saying. Crump is not going to get it. They need an international lawyer, someone who specifically understands Mexican law.
Exactly.
Particularly.
And that attorney can actually come from Spain or Argentina or any of those countries that are within Latin America, as long as they understand the law. And then the other thing I want to point out is no one has mentioned if they can't get any kind of help. I mean, it just seems like America is just kind of null and void. And I, because I'm not living there anymore, I have this just nasty taste in my mouth about the country and how we're being treated. And I always remind people of the benign neglect clause that is, they'll say it's not a law, but this is what's happening in America. They are using benign neglect. You can Google it. It's right there. It tells you exactly what they're doing. And this is how they're able to get away with treating us the way they actually treat Black Americans.
And that's
but
the reason
the
why.
Other thing I wanted to point out is they may, for me, this sounds like a human right violation. And if this is a loophole where there's a human right violation, then they're going to have to probably take this to an international court, which is basically the UN.
Right, which is going to cost money and resources. And,
exactly.
And that's why I kept saying, will they have the money and resources? Will they get enough donations and support to be able to take it to that level? Because that's what but see, this is the bigger shame of it. It's a shame that you could be an American citizen and your own government doesn't want to give you justice. And now you would have to seek justice outside of the country.
And that's why they're not getting any justice. And I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it, and I think you guys pretty much know from a lot of my postings how I feel about certain things. I don't really bite my tongue. Is if it had been one white person involved in this whole incident, I think things would be going a little different. But you have us as Black Americans in Mexico, of all the places, and we're down there behaving badly. And because I'm a retired flight attendant. I traveled my whole life, and I kind of learned how to maneuver and move around certain groups of people. I'm over here in the EU. And I've been over here since 2011. And of course, I go back and forth and I do my thing, but I'm old enough to know how to maneuver around, the dominant society or whatever you want to call them.
We hear you.
Yeah. And so anytime we travel and we go somewhere, we have to learn how to maneuver within not only within other cultures, but other countries. And just the simple fact that they're down there fighting, and then on top of it, it's on a video.
It's really, yeah, it's a bad situation.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a really bad situation. So they're going to have to find some kind of international loophole because you can turn around and say, "Oh, we're not going to go spend our money in Mexico." They
mm-hmm,
don't care about Mexico the country of Mexico doesn't survive on tourism. Greece, number one source of income is tourism. They make nothing, they produce nothing. It's their number one resource is tourism. So when that black kid got killed down there, they were on it because tourism. Mexico is not known for tourism.
mm-hmm.
So
Thank,
so they're not really losing anything.
right. Thank you,
So this
India,
family's
for
gonna
the
have
super
to
chat,
find,
sister. Let
yeah,
let
this
me just let
family's
me just
gonna
say this.
have to find another loophole,
Mm-hmm.
which may have to take them to all the way to the UN, but because it's us fighting us, it's gonna be tough.
Right. Well, can I say this to you, sister? If
Yeah.
you don't mind. Let's just keep it real. I've been to Mexico maybe three. I took a cruise down there along the coast of Mexico. I've been to the area that they were in. I've
Mm-hmm.
traveled there across the border from San Diego some years ago. And at this point in time, I have no interest in going to Mexico because they've got a lot of stuff going on down there. First of all, let's be honest, they don't like black people. They'll take our money, no
No.
problem. They're racist people. This is what we got to understand. They are racist towards the there's a population of black Mexicans in Mexico
Mm-hmm.
that got designated as black Mexican. They don't care for them. Look at how
Right.
they treat their own people in general. They don't care for even their own people. Not to mention the corruption, the
Right.
cartels, and all that sort of stuff that entangles, that is engulfed in their government. So, and I gotta be honest here. I played a video some time back, and I played a soundbite from Judge Joe Brown, and he said that it was around that situation with what happened to the black folks who got kidnapped, right? And he said that the Mexican that United States doesn't really have technically any jurisdiction in Mexico. And
Right.
that with that also said, he says that the United States actually gives weapons and does this espionage and this black ops type game with Mexico anyway. They know that who the drug lords are. They know who the criminals are in Mexico, but they use them to their better means, right? So
Right.
I just think that at the end of the day, they don't give a damn about black people. And I don't see Mexico, unless they are pushed by some forces, are really going to do anything. And then on top of that, as I read the statistic, and I'll say it again for people who came in late, homicide rates or homicide with a black victim remains unsolved in America at 49% of the time, compared to 28% for white people when they are deleted. So
And
that
that's
goes to the
global.
point that you made, sister,
That's
and that's
global.
statistically.
I mean that's global. Even here in Portugal,
Mm-hmm.
the Africans here are treated. It's global. And
Well, look,
another thing I
go
stress
ahead.
to a lot of people is we have all these issues right now going on. Well, I'm not black, and I'm Dominican, and I'm not black. I'm this, and I'm not black. When you walk down the street, you're black. They're
You
not. They're
know,
not.
I'm gonna.
They're not going, "Oh, that's an African," or
Let- let-
that's an American, or that's a
and this
Haitian,
is
or that's a
and this is
Jamaican.
the crazy thing about it.
You're black, and you're
Other
going to be treated as such.
right
Period.
now,
And that's
when you look at other
global.
right when you look at other black people in the world who will identify themselves from the place that they come from, at the end of the day, the other parts of the world don't see you as anything but black. You're right. Look at what happened to you had Africans in China, and when the whole pandemic broke out, who did they blame it on? They blamed it on the on those Africans and told them to get the hell out of China. And the Chinese government forced them out and then tried to blame them for the epidemic. So when who was the African brother in Michigan? I did a video on it. Who was deleted by that police officer? That police didn't say, "Wait a minute, are you a black American?" or
Right.
No,
Exactly.
he saw him as a black man and
Chased
didn't give a
him
damn
down
about
like a dog.
Right.
And,
He didn't care about his accent or anything.
And it's just like over here in the Ukraine. And please don't get me started on that. When they took all the Africans off the train, we were sitting here watching the almost in real time before, and it took the States maybe 2, 3, 6 months before you guys even saw what was happening, where the Ukrainians were pulling the Africans off the train, and they were putting their dogs on the train, and there was one video that got scrubbed where they were chasing the Africans through the terminal, where the train station, beating them.
Facts.
They were literally beating them. And the other thing is, who took them in? Russia. So you want to talk about trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars coming over here for this crazy war that nobody wants.
And remember, remember this, my sister, you know this. There's a faction of Nazis over there in the Ukraine that nobody
That's where they're
wanted to
trained.
talk about. That's where they're trained.
That's where the Nazis are trained, are in Ukraine.
My tax dollars as an American has been going over. It's been going over to Ukraine to fuel this indirect war that America has with Russia, because that's what it is. They're using the Ukrainians, but the Ukrainians, they got boo-boo in their draws because the Ukrainians have racism and Nazis over there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And the United States is supporting the stability of a country just because they claim to be democratic that has a faction of Nazism about it. Interesting, very interesting. If you don't mind, let me and I appreciate you adding to the discussion today, sister. But let me hear what brother Aaron Collins, and thank you for the super chat, India. Everyone out there listening, we got Doe Eyes TV, Sea Breeze 40s in the house, Jill Chocolate Boutique, Ashes here, Queen I Know I Am, the Jay Jordan. What's going on, Jay Jordan? Check out his channel. He does a lot of exercising and stuff. That brother's great. The Empower Goddess. Jeff Johnson 357. Thank you for your support, brother. I noticed you in the chat room. Maurice Smith, M Mills is in the house. Blue Devil is here. We got Alice Christian is in the house here. Golden Melanin Computer Geek. Man, a lot of people have come in. D. Allen Warren is here. Man, a lot of great folks in the chat room. I appreciate your support. But real Aaron Collins, give us your raw and honest thoughts about the feds saying that they don't see anything that's inclusive, that is inconclusive, that they don't have enough evidence to take federal charges against those individuals that traveled over there to Mexico. They come back home alive, and Shanquella Robinson ends up deleted. What's going on, real Aaron Collins? What are your thoughts?
Shout out Info Man, shout out Chaos and Deborah. Yeah, it's a very double standard situation because, like you said, when you're part of the dominant society, when you have the vanilla complexion, things are gonna definitely go well for you. You know, when this young lady was deleted, we saw what happened. We saw what led up to her deletion. We didn't, of course, like you said, we didn't see the actual deletion, but we can already pretty much figure it out in our own minds what happened. And like I think Deborah just said it, or maybe Chaos. Basically, when it comes to us, for one thing, our lives don't matter over here. So what makes you think that our lives are going to matter anywhere else? And for all these people who want to say that, well, I hear a lot of these black conscious people talking about we need to get out of America. Is that so? I'll put it to you this way, and I might sound like the biggest Tom or whatever for saying this, but I'm gonna go and say this. My ancestors really did build this country, and personally, I feel more at home here than I would feel at anywhere else. Now, that's not saying I don't want to visit other places. Of course, I would love to see the world. I mean, God made a great big world, and He wants us to see it. But as far as living somewhere else, for one thing, I'm not used to other places. I'm used to America. I know what I get here. I know what I get in the United States. I'm pretty much accustomed to it. Over somewhere else, where am I going to go there if I was over somewhere else? And R.I.P. to Bakari Henderson. I did a video about him too. He was the young man in Greece who was deleted.
Right.
And
Thank you
his
for
friend,
the name and everything. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. His friends didn't even come to his aid. But to answer your question about how the feds feel, it shouldn't really be a surprise because once again, our lives don't even matter over here.
Right.
So and the way they look at it, oh, it's just a bunch of N words murdering each other. So whatever. So her family should definitely seek a higher court, a higher level. And as far as the so-called friends,
yes,
the way I look at it, justice is coming, and whether it be legal justice or spiritual justice, let me tell you something. There's a guy who sits on the throne up high and looks down on the earth, and he sees everything that's happening. So whatever you think you got away with, trust me, you really didn't. So it's gonna happen. And no, R.I.P. to Shanquella.
Let me say this, Aaron, because this is very important. Hang on, give me 1 minute. All right, I had to fix something. I have to turn that back on. How can I say this? Anywhere globally in the world, we're always a target for people. I don't care where you live in the world. When you talk about the continent of Africa, you've got those in the continent of Africa that are leaving Africa, getting on rafts and trying to get here or trying to get to Europe. So there's nowhere on the globe that you can escape these things. We have colonialism in parts of the world. You can't escape these things. We have to be honest about this. But this is what bothers me. The Biden administration tried to portray themselves as being the administration of justice. And all you have to do is look at when they've had issues that come before them that has black people involved, they've done nothing. The Emmett Till case is another legitimate case that the DOJ under Biden and his administration failed to do anything in putting any charges against a woman who's still alive today. We sat back, I think it was last year, and watched the whole world talk about Gabby Patel. Right? That was the white girl who was deleted by her boyfriend Laundry. Remember that? That was on news every night ad nauseum, every night, over and over again. You notice in the family of Shanquella Robinson, her mother, her family has admitted to this. It's the bloggers on YouTube who have kept her name alive. It is not mainstream media that has continued on the case. If she was white, I don't care. People can say, oh, you're playing the race card. No, this is truth. If she was white, let's keep it 100 here. If she was a white girl, if she was white, right? And she had
blue eyes and blonde hair, she would probably get justice, or there would be more involvement in trying to break that damn case.
I think the
I
same
rest
thing
on
happened
that.
with Anna Nicole Smith in the Bahamas. As a matter of fact, you said information, man. You hit the nail right on the head. Say that we're always playing the race card. Well, that's the hand that's always dealt us, though. So of course, that's why we're always playing it.
Go right ahead. Anybody else? I'm gonna step away for 1 minute, but go right ahead. I gotta fix something on my other computer. Go right ahead.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Deborah.
Ooh, this is crazy. But I hear what you're saying when you say you don't want to live anywhere else. And I think because I practically lived on an airplane for my whole life. I'm good over here, but I'm not naive. I know that we are hated everywhere.
Right. You got the right mindset, and you see, it's like see the world, do that, but we have to move differently. And you're right. I mean, when it comes to us, we have to do things differently. We have to move a whole nother way. We can't do what Brad and Jenny and everyone else is doing. We have to strategize just a little bit. I mean, even when it comes to dealing with the police over here, we have to teach our children, okay, the police are not going to treat you the way that they would treat a dominant person.
Right.
And some people may, oh, that's ridiculous. If you're not living in our skin, you can't really tell us how to live or what we can teach our children.
You have to travel differently. You can't travel with a pack of people. It's just a whole psychology to it. And this girl, I feel bad for her because she went with four or five different people, and I mean, you want to be able to be free and travel and do things, but man, you have to move so differently.
Yep. One of the things when I was at the NAACP Image Awards. One of the people who I saw up there in person right in front of me was Brittany Griner. And I'm thinking to myself, man, does she have any idea how blessed she truly is that she was able to get back here with the case that she had against her with the weed thing? And I'm thinking to myself, well, first of all, why did you even have it with you in the first place? So, and it's like everyone's like justice for so and so. I'm like, okay, yeah, but at the same time, we gotta stop putting ourselves in positions. Some people, some of us put ourselves in these positions to be dealt with. And like,
Right.
if you
agree.
know, yeah, I mean, if you know that you're not wanted places, why bring attention to yourself? And we are some of the most flashiest, look at me type of people here. I mean, Frank Lucas said it best. The loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And we still to this day, you got to wear the biggest chain. You got to wear the furriest fur coat. You got to wear to have the biggest car with the biggest rims, the loudest system. I mean, nothing wrong with having these things, but I'm the type of person, I like to be discreet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Info, I think your audio's out, brother.
Here I go. I'm back on. I just want to say that this discussion is fantastic. It's a needed discussion. We got Dee Dee Taylor here. Queen, I Know I Am. Ash is in the house. Keith Weston's here. Brother Jeff Johnson, 357's in the house. Beverly Palmer. Another CG's in the house. All of you that are here, thank you for taking your time up to be here. This is a very important thought. I don't want to demonize young people. Black people should be able to travel and enjoy ourselves like everyone else. But we're not doing ourselves a great favor when we are attacking ourselves. It's bad enough when we're being attacked by other people who don't look like us, but to be attacked by people who look like us is a shame. And I don't know. Like I said, part of the problem is all of us don't know the character. We don't know these people. What we know is that they went on a trip that she may or may have not financed. According to Chaos Reign, he said that she financed it. We'll have to double check that. But it doesn't matter because she went with them alive. She was in good spirit. And next thing you know, she's no longer alive. We see the video. She's deleted. All the rest of them get on a plane and go back home. And remember, Aaron, I said this before. I think you were on my last stream I did. Remember, I think it was Khalid, Cook, or Malik Dry. They went to the home of the parents. Once the parents found out that they didn't get the truth from them, they all disappeared. Somebody's lying. And now we got the federal government, the DOJ, who once again does not want to take up a case that involves black people because they claim that the evidence is inconclusive.
You know, I just came up with
this is what we don't know. If the evidence, let me just go through this real quick, Aaron. This is real quick. Let me put this, hopefully people can see this on the side. The U.S. authorities claim that there was brain swelling. They ruled the case of death as inconclusive completely after her body was embalmed. But then when she was in Mexico, I'm just reminding people of this again, we were told that the case of her death was alcohol poisoning. We now can make an inference that that's bull crap. And what the family says the autopsy showed was an injury to the spinal neck. If the family says that the autopsy showed an injury to her spinal neck, then why is it that the medical examiners in America are coming up with the ruling of it's inconclusive, meaning they don't know? So unless this is a episode of X-Files, I'm going to say to everybody again in the chat room, and you can put this in the chat room, and I want to ask you that are on the panel, then what in the hell happened? I want to know again, what in the hell happened? What in the hell happened? What's going on? We need answers. Most of all, the family needs more answers than all of us, and they're not getting any.
I don't think they cared. I don't think they valued her body. I don't think they cared. Obviously, there was no
What's
value
going on,
to her.
Jada Mike?
Yeah.
Jedi Mike, I'm sorry. I'm glad to have you here, brother. Deborah, you're absolutely correct. It's about them not caring. It's about.
I wanted to add this, that okay, once again, her so-called friends, because we call them so-called, that I wonder if they plotted to do this when they got there. I wonder if they were thinking in their mind, okay, when we get down there, we gonna handle it like that.
There's all sorts of speculation, but at the end of the day, we can speculate, but what we have is that there's no federal charges being brought forward. The federal government of the United States is the only government that can intervene in the Mexico, not the local police, your sheriff's department, all the local police in North Carolina, where they come from, they can't do a damn thing other than arrest them locally, which they didn't. When they came back to the States, they simply wanted to question them. There was nobody put down. This is why I'm kind of pissed off, because not only me, I put myself in this, me, the lead attorney, everybody that was that was reporting on this, we all got trolled and capped by that Mexican reporter. That's the truth. I got to take that L because I did a video reporting one night that they had arrested one of the individuals that was involved. Lead attorney had this guy on his show. We all got capped. That's why I'm pissed off, because we got capped. We got trolled by this guy over in Mexico, this reporter. And I know why. I know why we got capped, because we all wanted to see justice. In our emotional attachment to this case, we wanted answers, and we wanted justice for Shanquella Robinson's family and for her morally. And as a result of that desire to want to see justice and a conclusion of justice, we were easily to be capped and trolled. That's the nature of YouTube. Everybody wants to break the story. We got to lay on that L. It ain't what we thought. They get to go home, and I'm going to play this one more time for people that are coming in late, and let my man Jedi Mike 7 speak his mind about this issue. But let me hear, this is the deal right here. Listen to this.
United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base, we're safe, we're not going to be charged.
So once again, what you have here is they've opened the door for people to say, I can go to Mexico, delete somebody, come back home, and I could possibly get off. Could this be opening up the door? Could they have inadvertently opened up a bad door of opportunity for people that would try to take advantage of that? Brother Jedi Mike 7, I want to hear your thoughts, brother.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. I hope you guys are doing well and everything. Yeah, this story was very, very sickening to hear. Just when it first came out, not only just I only couldn't watch the video really once. I mean, I couldn't really look back and recapping and all of it because it was just kind of really graphic. But and now even then, with my wife right now, I can see how with black women, I have a level of okay, you going overseas, hang out with your girlfriends in these situations again. It comes to a point where they're not realizing how cautious it is in terms of our safety, or just as black people. And I just think the amount of evidence that was presented and the fact that we got the response, really, you can say, oh, there's no surprise, but really just kind of emphasizes the fact that really we have to have the mindset of protecting our own by any means necessary. And what that might be, acting would proceed cautious, hey, listen, I'm traveling with you. The way the certain type of people you hang around with, this person. If you're going out to an event or party or anything like that, that might lead to some people being under the influence by any means or whatever that way to get you to that point. And then you can basically become in danger if you're in an environment that you're not familiar with. So I just felt that to me, while I was kind of seeing this, I just kind of emphasize this to black people. We need to do a better job at prioritizing our safety, and not just kind of just wilding out because we're going overseas having a good time. We should always be on guard.
Right. Jedi Mike 7, let everybody know about your channel and where they can find you. I think this is the first time you've been on my panel that I've had. I don't have too many panels often, but there's certain issues that deserve to have a panel discussion about. But let everybody know where they can find you too.
Yes, you can find me on Jedi Mike 7 on YouTube. It's reviews, news, and truth. I work as a movie critic. I'm part of the African American Film Critic Association in DMV, and so I do review movies, social commentary, and such like that. I do interviews as well. I've been kind of taking a break from the YouTube space because, especially recently, these last 3 weeks have been very, very interesting. And I just kind of now, being about to get married and everything, and I'm trying to prioritize, where I'm partaking positive spaces and stuff. So on my platform, hopefully, be another positive space to add on your platform. So anybody, you can find me on Jedi Mike 7 on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely check them out, everybody. If any of the mods finds his channel, drop that link in there. We got Golden Melanin that's in the house. Jill, we got Last Call that's here. Jill's Chocolate Boutique, everyone in the chat room has a channel as well. Aaron Collins, let everybody know where they can find you too. I'm going to go through everyone on the panel. Go right ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. My channel is called The Real Aaron Collins, and I do a lot of social commentary stuff and do a few movie reviews. I know my man Jedi Mike here from THT's panel, been on his panel
A lot of
before.
times I've seen you.
Yeah,
I didn't have the beer last time you saw me, or the ring.
Married man.
Yeah, congratulations too, man, on your nuptials. But yeah, that's where you can find me. I haven't put anything out yet, but I'm gonna get back on it soon. Matter of fact, I got some changes coming. I'm gonna revamp my channel. I mean, like I said, when I grow up, I want to be just like Info Man here and have all the bells and whistles.
Doing, brother.
Yeah.
Chaos Rain, I know you have a channel as well. Let everybody know where they can find you. Chaos Rain, going once, going twice, going 3 times. He might have stepped away for a moment, but that's okay. Deborah Gunn, now correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have a channel?
I am going to do a channel, but
okay, because I gotta subscribe.
And you know what I did? I did all of your tutorials too.
Right, and check this out. That channel, I just so people know, that channel, the Info Media Live channel, I'm about to revamp it. I'm gonna start loading up content over there. And what I'm gonna talk about, the most important thing, because I just went through it personally. When you have a YouTube channel that gains some revenue and they send you a 1099, I know exactly everything you can claim for that 1099. That will be. I'm gonna break it all down how you can actually benefit and not end up paying any money. It's very obvious stuff, and I'm gonna do a video on that. That will be the newest video that I'll be dropping on the Info Media Live. And I'm gonna talk to you. I don't need any bells and whistles for it. I'm gonna talk to you because I just did my taxes and went through it, and I got a fantastic delight. I just gotta say that to you.
Yeah, I just want to say a shout out to Information Man on his content in terms of monetization and talking about the algorithm and trying to manage your platform and everything. I've been like watching your videos, in the process of me, transitioning them in place and everything. But really very informative in terms of how the current state of YouTube is moving now and how they're actually not really kind of focusing on subscribers, more importantly, the community, and actually having the long-term longevity of a channel. So make sure you subscribe to Information Man on his content. It was very, very helpful for me.
Right. They're saying, I'm glad you said that. They're saying that it doesn't really matter how many subscribers you have because any video can go viral. Any content, if it reaches people what they're looking for, it can pick up. You can have a channel with 1 million subscribers and only get thousands of views, and you got channels that only have thousands of subscribers, but they're getting millions of views. So it depends on what you're talking about, the subject matter. There's certain subject matters that get more pull than others. So, just keep doing. Everybody needs to just keep doing what they're doing. But I am going to be dropping new content on that channel. I know it's been dormant a little bit, but new content is coming. So I want you all to be on the lookout for that. And I will promote it when I drop the new content. But not to get too far off subject matter here. I would say to everybody before I end the program, please put the family in your prayers. Yeah. And Jedi, since you're here, this was the question. Do you think that the family might go after these folks civilly, and they may need to get an international lawyer to go after Mexico? Because when I had the Empower Esquire on my channel, she said that they possibly could go after them civilly, and they could probably go after the hotel and all those that were involved in Mexico. But to do that, obviously they're going to need to get an international lawyer because Benjamin Crump is not going to cut it, brother. I'm not going to be disrespectful. He's a lawyer. Some of us are not big fans of him, but I don't think he's going to cut it if they have to take it to that level. And let me say peace to Larry Anything Goes LLC for the $20 super chat, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for that super chat. All right.
Go ahead, Jedi Mike.
Was that Vader? Was that speaking?
That was Darth Vader, ladies and gentlemen. You know,
I want to thank everybody for listening to the show today. Yay!
Oh my God.
All right.
All right, everybody. Go right ahead, Jedi. What is your thoughts about that?
First of all, you're absolutely right. I think that the family have several options presented to them. Obviously, they can just either accept defeat, which obviously that's probably not what they should be doing. But going in terms of the international sense, because this was on foreign land, and the fact that obviously the process of terms of like how evidence is being transpired, and also in terms of who was being liable of the situation in the first place, the fact that it's happened on company grounds in the first place, but now we're not even want to talk about that, let alone the individuals that was, recording the video and everything like that. But I actually believe that they should try to pursue an international attorney if possible. But that's my only thing, is that I just don't want them to accept defeat in anything like that. But
okay, now everybody in the chat room, I see we got Naps TV. He just pulled up the link to your channel. Thank you for being here, Brother Naps. This is for everybody in the chat room. As we get ready to end the show, I'm going to look at everything everyone says, but let me look at this right here real quick, because I have this is a question I'm going to ask. Ash says this: I think we have prayed enough. It's time for people. I agree with that. I still think we should pray for the family, and still people need to do something. I agree with that. People with power and money to intervene with action for those who have the power to do so in helping this family. That's a powerful statement that this sister just wrote here. And for that reason, I got to give her a clap. Very powerful. Very powerful. Now, let me ask this question, and let me see. C Breeze said this right here. Let me see what Breeze is saying. Those kids don't have nothing, and there's no amount of money that will bring her back. Real justice looks like equal treatment. I understand what you're saying. And then we got sister. I get it. Great. Oh, thank you, Doe Eyes TV. I thank you for being here. Jill's Chocolate Boutique, I thank you for being here as well. And I got to give a shout out to one of the great moderators of the, and that is Queen I Know I Am. She's a moderator on the Elders channel. And shout out to the Elder. Give him a clap. And and I thank her for being here. Let me just say this, everybody, before we leave. If the federal government is saying, or the feds are saying, they can't bring a case against those individuals because there's not enough evidence, that is inconclusive in terms of how she died. In Mexico, there's some talk that the family was told and given an autopsy that showed that it was a broken neck and some things of that nature. And we saw a video that showed that she was being beaten by someone, although the video doesn't show the deletion happening at that time, but we do know that she was being beaten. And then there was a story by the housekeeper saying that she was found on the bed or something. It was all different things that we were being told. Then the question is, what happened? I want to let everyone give their thoughts about what they think happened. I'll start with Chaos Reign first, going once, going 2 times, going 3 times. Elaine. Chaos Reign, as we get ready to close, I'm asking everybody this question, and I'm going to look at everyone's messages in the chat room before we conclude. What do you think happened, Chaos Reign, to Shanquella Robinson, given the fact that the feds are saying that the evidence is too inconclusive? And we know what was coming out of Mexico. What do you think is going on? In short.
Well, one thing when it comes to black bodies, we all know once the body has been, lost life, they start taking organs, as you know. I think what Mexicans doing, in particularly America, because this happened on live camera, regardless if, is actually conducted like an actual deletion was happening. Things are being pushed under the rug for whatever reasons, and I think there might be a bigger agenda why they're letting the American people know that said we're not going to pursue more, because I think they're going to put this in the back burner for even great election. I think that's what's going to possibly happen now, because everybody knows clearly that there's two different evidence of the cause of death, and it's not making sense. They know what really happened, so they're going to hold this for next year, and then once our beloved president solved this, he said, "Look, we saw a big crime. Now get me back on my side." Listen, they playing chess, man. We playing checkers up here, man.
Right. It is about chess. You're absolutely right. Let me read what Golden Melanin is saying here. She says they deleted her and took her money and used some of it to pay off Mexican officials so that they can come back to America. You know what? That's not a far, I know it's conspiracy sounding, but that's not a far-fetched scenario. You know why? Because we know that Mexico is corrupt and those police officers take bribes. Remember when I did the video about the black people who got kidnapped? Remember I played that one video and they said that the police had stopped them one night and it was on video and the police were asking them for $1,500? They were doing a shakedown on them. That's the ones that got kidnapped. There was a shakedown on them. I got the video on that. A short little video. Came off of Instagram. They posted it. So very much could be true. Deborah Gunn, what is your final conclusion for this program tonight?
I kind of agree. I can kind of agree with Golden. And I say that because I've had crew members, we flew into Mexico City and we're in, our pickup van and we're going to the hotel, and the police, and I wasn't on this particular trip, but I remember the police had pulled the crew van over and tried to rob the pilots and the flight attendants, and the pilots had to pay the police off. They were trying, this literally happened in uniform, crew of 10, flight attendants, 3 pilots, pulled the crew van over and told them that they were going to take the wedding rings and take all their jewelry and everything, and the pilots had enough cash on them to pay off the police officers so we could get to the hotel. Of course, we get to the hotel. They're trying. Well, I was on a trip. They get to the hotel and they're trying to, call the police and do the paperwork or whatever with my airline. I'm not going to say which one. Major airline back in the States.
I hear you.
And it was nothing that could be done about it. Nothing.
See, that's the sick part about
this. So Golden has a really good point. But I think we all can agree that the family's going to have to get an international law firm, an international attorney. It's going to cost them a ton of money. And, if everybody involved wasn't Black, I think we'd have a different outcome. That's my take on it.
Right. Now I know that Attorney Crump and many attorneys, when they take on these high profile cases, they'll do it pro bono because they usually get paid when they get paid in the, I know Trump not Crump. He's known for being a deal maker, right? So he gets a percentage of the deals that he cuts or whatever, but it's going to cost them money to get a top-notch international lawyer who understands Mexican law, international law, and that can break through all the BS. You're absolutely right. But let me, M. Mills, she remembered that video. She says, yep, I remember that. And she gave the Mexican police the money she had in her purse. So you had the black folks who traveled into Mexico from Texas. Remember that case? And of course, they were on Anderson Cooper on CNN. And you had the one brother in a wheelchair. He said that they were trying to make him and his sister have, relations. Crazy stuff, right? But there was a video where they said, man, I might end up having to find that video. Well, I can't play it. The StreamYards is so screwed up when it comes to playing video, all kind of distortions. I got to do it on my other system. But when I go into my system, into StreamYard, it's just all wacky. But she said in that video, they're trying to make us pay money. $1,500, I think she said. So you're absolutely right. Real Aaron, let me pull up another person's thoughts before I go to Aaron Collins, and then get to my man Jedi. Let's see what
all right, information man. I'm gonna sit down. Thank you for having me up.
I appreciate you coming up, brother.
Please
No
everybody
problem.
subscribe to the
Do what
channel.
you gotta do.
I'm almost got 1,000, so if it helps. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you very much. Let me read. Okay, Grail Podcast is in the house. What's going on, my brother? And then we got Lisa says what? What's going on? Lisa says what? She says information man in chat and mod. She's greeting everybody. Kendra, let me see. Kendra G says sounds like something's out of a movie. Yeah, it's all crazy. Something's just not right. Okay, Aaron. Let me see. Seabreeze 40 says black people, regardless of how corrupt Mexico is, they didn't kill. They didn't delete. I'm using the word delete for purposes, and you know how YouTube is. Delete Shanquella Robinson. You know what? Wait a minute, man. That's another. You know, that's gonna be a blow to all of us who believe that her so-called friends did this to her. What if? Wait a minute. Black people, regardless how corrupt Mexico is, they did not delete Shanquella Robinson. Okay, what if this is another scenario? This is conspiratorial, of course, because we don't know. What if they didn't do this and it was somebody else in Mexico that did this? What if the individuals didn't do it?
The Oregon situation sounds realistic too. Who was that said that?
It was somebody who said that. Who was it that said that? Was it somebody mentioned that Oregon? That's an interesting scenario. What if, even though we saw someone beating her, what if those individuals didn't actually delete her and somebody from Mexico deleted her? And that's why the federal government hasn't found any evidence. Now we're putting on our Kufi hats, you know, our conspirator hats. What if that's why the feds can't charge them, because they don't see any physical evidence that any of them did it? Maybe they took blood samples from, maybe they took samples off of their bodies already, and we don't know that because the FBI is not going to tell us details what their investigation is doing, right? We're not going to see it. That's just a theory, folks. I'm not capping. There's no trolling here. Just a theory. Just a theory. But Aaron Collins, give us your theory. That's an interesting scenario. I personally think that the friends, they did something to her, but that would be a blow to all of our thoughts if it came out in the wash that they didn't actually do it, but someone in Mexico did it. Go ahead, Aaron.
I really still believe that it's a whole thing of foul play, and I think it's some jealousy involved. I mean, as you can see, when she was alive, Shanquella Robinson was obviously a very beautiful young lady. She was obviously moneyed up, so if she was able to foot the bill for everyone to show up, and that just wasn't enough for them. They're like, no, we want more. I mean, she's good for it, and from what I understand, from what we saw in the video, the one that was pummeling her, the back of her head, that was someone that was not biologically
Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, so let me say this though. I jumped out the window on one of the videos that I did, and I said that wasn't biologically a woman, but come to find out, Aaron, it is that Dajane Jackson is actually a biological woman with kids and everything, and I think a husband. There's a rumor, I'm saying this, that the picture was doctored to make her look like she was actually a boy. That's what was told. That I had it on very good information that's what was
Oh my
that's what was
God.
put out there, and that's what people denied and said, no, that's really a biological woman because there's pictures and everything of her with her children and husband that she had biologically. But it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter because we still
Yeah.
don't know what happened.
And I
And
stand
that's the
corrected
thing
too
that's
on that.
crazy about this. No, I'm not saying, hey, anything's possible, brother, but I'm just saying that that's the information that I was given. And I
Right.
saw the evidence of it, and I know that, okay, Dajanay Jackson is a biological female, but however, we still, either way, we still don't know what happened. This is like a bad X-File episode of X-Files.
Yeah.
We don't know what's happening. The
And I
feds
still
ain't
believe
telling us nothing.
I still believe there was some jealousy and envy involved. I mean, they
Yeah, I
envied her.
believe that too.
Somebody in that group was jealous, and I
Right.
believe they wanted more. And it was like, man, I can't stand this girl. And so, like I said, with
Anything
my
could be
first
possible.
theory, I believe they waited. Okay, they plotted. Let's wait till we get to Mexico, then we gonna handle it. We gonna do what we need to do. We gonna get up out of there. I'm thinking that's
Who
what
knows?
happened.
Or it could have just been a spontaneous thing that happened because they was partying, drinking, and one thing led to another. That's possible too. Let me just say this: we're gonna get rid of a conspiracy theory here. Ash has just put in the chat room that no organs were missing, so that was a plus at least. So I guess when the family, because remember, if anything was missing in terms of her organs for organ harvesting, the family would have already come out and told us, we got our daughter back from Mexico and her organs are missing. So we can scratch that theory out. We can take that right out of there. And we got, let me see here. Yeah. Seabreeze is confirming what I'm saying. It was a biological woman. They said that someone doctored up a photo to make her look like a guy.
That's
And
horrible.
nowadays with technology, they can
AI.
You got this new. Hey, check this out. I was listening to my man Max V World the other night, and I got that Chad talk and all of that stuff. And shout out to him. Do you know that on the AI systems, you can pick a character, black, white, anybody, and then create a script, and you can have somebody talking on your YouTube channel as if and you write a script and pick a character, a person, an avatar of a person, and they're talking. That's how crazy the technology is getting with this, man. It's crazy.
It's kind of scary. I mean, in a way, if you look at it from
Info
you can
man,
set
I'm
somebody
gonna
up. Like that. Yeah.
Go ahead, sister.
I'm gonna drop down, but I just want to say something to everyone. When because I do a lot of traveling solo, I don't go with big crowds of people anywhere. But when you are traveling and you're going to these different countries, just a word of advice is to have the U.S. Embassy's number on hand. And if something happens to you, call them before you call any local police. And if you do travel, make sure you try to go to a country, because a lot of countries don't have a U.S. embassy. So be careful when you're going to these countries that do not have U.S. embassies, and most countries where we have military bases will have an embassy.
Okay, stop right there, Deborah
Yeah.
Guns. Mexico does not have, correct me if I'm wrong, and I should know this because I live in the West Coast, but I don't ever remember hearing about a military base, American military base in Mexico.
Then
I don't
these
think we don't have one.
These countries where we don't really have any treaties or anything like that, you shouldn't go to them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
Because if something happens and you're and you have a U.S. passport,
yes,
that overrides every legality there is in that country.
Well,
you
wait a
want to
minute.
contact the embassy.
Okay, we now I need somebody real quick do this for me. Maybe I should look
I
this up.
thought Mexico was part of NAFTA.
Do we have a American? I think we have an American embassy in Mexico at least. I know we don't have military bases there, of course, but I think we have. Look this up real quick,
You know,
folks.
I want to say we do. I want to say we do, but
And
I
the
can't.
reason why, can someone just look it up real quick? Because I'm doing so many things at one time. Because I'm trying to think and be very measured in what I'm about to say here. Could one make an inference that it would have been in the best interest, because they called the Mexican authorities and police and they came in, but in hindsight, if there was an American embassy, it would be in the best interest of anybody
You
to
know all
call, like
those
you said, the embassy
Jason
first.
Bourne movies, and he's going to the embassy. You don't see them. You don't see them going to the police. They're going to a U.S. embassy, and that's real.
So, okay.
You know,
If
that's just my
it would
little
have been
thing.
in there, okay. But see, this is the thing. If these individuals were responsible for deleting Shanquella Robinson, the last thing that they want to do is probably run to the embassy and say, "Hey, we just, you know what I mean? They're trying to get away with it."
No. They wouldn't do it. I'm saying if you're
Right.
out and something and you're with a group of people and something happens and you're overseas, you know, you want to have access to the embassy, especially if you're going to a corrupt country. If you're, you know what I mean? If you're going someplace, say, you know, even if you're going to someplace like Dubai, you can get taken someplace in a desert and
Okay.
never be heard of from again.
Right.
You
Here we go
need,
right
if
here.
something's happening, you need to have some type of U.S. embassy.
Yeah.
You know,
I got it right here. U.S. Embassy consult in Mexico. There is.
There's 9.
Mexico City.
Yeah, there is a so there is one.
Okay.
There is one.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, there is, but this
There's
the thing.
9 consults and 9 consular agencies. 9.
I had a question too. Wasn't Mexico, along with the United States and Canada, part of something called NAFTA, which was like unified all of them, the North American Treaty Association?
But that was about trade, though, Aaron. That was about
that's
trade.
about trade.
That was passed under Bill Clinton when he was president, right? And a lot of people think that today that the NAFTA was a bad deal for Americans because it took a lot of American jobs away. So that was a North American trade deal. Has nothing to do with if you get yourself caught in a pickle, like this situation. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jedi Mike. There are I got their website right up here. Emergency information for American citizens right here. U.S. ambassador and consultant in Mexico. Oh man, they got it right up here. And if you get yourself in a pickle, that's the place to go to. But this is the thing. This is my key theory here. You know that a lot of the Mexican police can be bribed. They're looking for a lick. And if these individuals took Shanquella Robinson's life, how difficult or how easy would it be for them to simply pay off the police down there to look the other way so that they can get out of town?
They probably
Because we have to ask that question. Why did the Mexican authorities let them leave town?
And they
let them leave town.
They probably escorted them out of the airport too.
Mexican police are known for corruption anyway, so it shouldn't be no surprise that they're known for that.
Right.
They've taken payoffs and bribes, and many of them are actually working with the cartels to begin with. Some of them are being paid off in the cartel's pocket. So the fact that if these young African Americans who are not from there were able to take this young lady's money and then pay them off, there's no surprise with that. It's unfortunate, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Let me ask the brother who's come on board with us, HB. What's going on, my brother? Alan HB. What are your thoughts, my brother? I appreciate you coming up.
Oh, no problem. my thoughts are that Americans need to understand that when you go to a different country, as somebody who is a dual citizen of two countries, you need to know where your embassy is, because I made use of the American embassy when I'm in another country, and B, you need to understand that page 6, line number 6 of your American passport tells you that the laws and stuff are different in other countries, and that you need to adhere to the laws of the area where you're going. So that means that when you have situations like this, you are under the authority of Mexico. You need to go to the Mexican police just like you would do in any other place. There is no running and going someplace else. You need to make sure that you're doing stuff the right way and understand. Wait, yeah, it's page 6.6 of that passport. Most people don't read it. It's there. And I have two passports. My Barbados passport doesn't have that kind of warning, and I think it's because Americans seem to think that American freedom extends every place, and it just simply doesn't.
No, it does not.
Now, brother, let me ask you this question. I'm glad you said that. I've always thought that when this is one of our problems as Americans, that we travel to other countries and we act like we go to another country and we act American. When the moment you get to another country, you're no longer in America, which means you no longer have those privileges of the law in another country. But oftentimes American, with our arrogance, we go other places and we think we can do any damn thing because I'm American.
Right. I it's funny.
Our problem.
Yeah. I'm a dual citizen, man. And so I have a Barbados passport. I have an American passport. There are things that I know that I can't do in Barbados just because I went there so often as a kid that I knew not to do it.
Page 6. I got page 6 right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
It says it right there. So
it's in
there.
there.
I know not
It's
to
in
do
small
these things,
print, but I see it.
Yeah.
Let me see. Travel information, consultors information. Let me see if I find health insurance, health and vaccination, avoid violating foreign laws.
There it is.
Your passport, illegal drugs, safety, be mindful of the security threats.
There you go.
Disaster, register with the United States Embassy right here on page 6 and 7, here. Parental child abduction. Wow.
Right.
Loss of U.S. citizenship. Dual citizenship is number 14 on here. Woo. Man,
yeah.
You're right, brother. You're right.
it's all spelled out right there in your American passport. So people need to be paying attention to that. And I kind of pointed that out once, Brittany Griner got jammed up the way she did. She brought it on herself, unfortunately.
Yeah, she did. She did.
So
let's not even lie about that.
Yeah,
she did.
She brought that all on herself. And so
I have a different theory on that one. Because I'm over here.
Why? Well, you don't bring contraband to an airport.
Brittany's been playing in Europe for years. And every time you go through customs, believe it or not, customs knows exactly what you have in your luggage. And Brittany probably has a connection in Russia where she was getting her stuff from. I think they stopped her because they were getting ready to get this war going on over here with Ukraine. She was just the one person that they felt that they could get. She's known over here in Europe. This wasn't her first
This is the
rodeo.
thing, though, Sister Gunn. This is the problem with that. Even if you might be very right that they got her for political reasons because of the war starting right over there, what they got going, right? But at the end of the day,
I think it has something to do with it.
Right, but this is where she blew it, and many of us can blow it. You're still in another country, which means they can grab your ass up. They might like you come over for a while because they know you're a basketball player or whatever. But at the end of the day, they can grab your ass anytime they choose to. So never put yourself in a situation to be able to be grabbed up because you broke one of their laws because you came over there a few other times and got away with it. As long as you keep doing it, if they get you later on, now it's too late. They might not have got you the first few times.
But what
There's
I'm
an entire
saying is
show called.
we shouldn't be surprised that
Right.
it eventually happened.
But
You're
the
right.
fact of the matter is, if she
It
had
was
a connection
we
in
shouldn't be
Russia.
surprised.
But the fact of the matter is, if she had a connection in Russia, she should have used that connection in Russia and not bring things over in boxes with her damn name on it.
No,
Either way, you're on the contract. Whether you're on overseas or underseas, you're on the contract.
Right.
So like, even if like you have Sha'Carri Richardson who won, trying to get into the Olympics and everything, but yet still not getting past the drug test. Still, even then, she was still held accountable because again, she's under a contract, and there's liabilities and there's rules in terms of what, how you are able to maneuver as someone who is liable to whether a brand or to a company, whatever that may be. So I think that again, I understand what you're saying, man. There obviously were probably incentives, especially with the trade that happened, right? You think there were obviously any type of reasoning why they might have got the upper hand on that, obviously, of course. But I'm saying that us as Black people, we cannot just wait to go, and I don't want to immediately resort to, there might be some they're just out to get me off rip, whatever, and that's why I got me here. Like, no, we are putting ourselves in situations to actually whether we're not making the best decisions that we can't come.
I know. I understand all that about the drug testing and customs. I've done it for 40 years. I'm just saying that we shouldn't be surprised that she finally got caught.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Deborah Guns, don't name the company that you worked for, but you have experience in the international travel business, right?
Right.
So you know what you're talking about, but it's just that we should never, especially if you're a Black person.
She just got caught. That's what it was.
She just got caught. But the thing is, whenever you travel to another workplace in the world, you should always do your homework about the laws, about never taking a chance. But I think sometimes our arrogance as Americans, we think because we're American or we're a well-known person, that everything's going to be okay. And in this case, it wasn't okay for her until the Joe Biden administration and those in power intervened. But we know that it was political, though. It was very political. Of course, because we know that there's other Americans that are over there that are still captured, right? And have not been sent back home. With the time that I have left in the program,
I'm gonna drop down.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deborah Guns. Good night to you. Let me give you
good night, Deborah.
Good night, Deborah. Thank you for coming up. This is what I'm gonna do before I go to Jedi Mike. Let me just read one more because I'm gonna have him give his synopsis as to what he thinks is going on too. Oh boy. Let me see. Hear you. Okay, let's go right now. Brother Jack, what is your theory based on what we know right now? What do you think is the hell going on?
Listen, my thing is with this is like, I think any of us can be in a situation where it might be set up in that environment, whatever, and the fact that there's no clear answers when there's obviously like things are recorded and other information come out, or the fact the answers that we're getting are very vague and not actually very precise in terms of what they're trying to just explain to us. I don't want to kind of go into the whole thing about saying whether there might have been hired by some type of drug cartel or something, and then say, hey, get this, and we give you an incentive to X, Y, Z, whatever. I think is what the point that you made, that there's a situation that escalated as normal, things that usually happen in our community, and escalate to a point where now we can't go back from, and we have to face those dramatic consequences. Now, with those consequences, also lead to accountability. So now it's like, okay, listen, who's going to be charged? Who's going to actually be liable? Who gave the final blow? Whatever that might be. But the fact that this situation became so very, very messy. Now this is where we're almost in the stalemate at this point. So that's why I believe, I think it's more of a situation that where it started off neutral, but then escalated.
That's what I believe. I think it happened organically. They went there to have a good time, and something happened that got out of hand. Do you believe, because I know a lot of the ladies are saying this, do you believe that there was an element of, and this goes for both of you, of jealousy that played a role in what could have happened to Shanquella Robinson? And if you don't agree with that, it's everyone is entitled to what they
Well,
believe.
I wouldn't say jealousy. I'll just say you not knowing who your friends really are, right? There's might be people whether they want to see you in the worst version of yourself to the point that they might actually put you in situations where they're going to set you up, right? And able to take advantage of you, right?
Yes.
So I believe whether if you're not really having enough discernment of knowing who's in your inner circle, especially have trusting them to a point to go across country with, right? If I don't even trust some of my closest friends, to show up at my house unannounced, and I'm like, well, I'm not going across country over with you or anything like that. I think again, there are a lot of people we don't know in our corner that's trying to sabotage us by any means necessary. So they might put us in situations again to where they might set us up. And I think that's probably what happened, whether, especially alcohol, drugs are probably involved, possibly to people being under influence and not making the right decisions, or even trying to remember the events that even transpired. They're all just, an adrenaline rush or whatever that might be. So whether it might be jealousy or not, I just think it's just being in a group of environment people that wasn't for her, nor had any means of protecting her.
Okay. Antonio, what's going on, brother? Good to see you coming over here and channel some love. Let me also let everybody know about this sister right here, MZ Kim Bling Bar and More. Ladies in the chat room, if you like jewelry and all those fabulous things, she has a channel where she displays beautiful pieces that you would like, and you can order them. And she does a great job on her channel. So basically, check her out. Also, let me remind people, if you have video and you want to advertise, I can promote your channels. I'll promote your channels. But if you also have little short videos that I can play as intermission on the channel, I will play them. Same thing goes for you, Jedi, anybody. If you got little videos and you want me to play it throughout when I broadcast, I will play it as a way to promote your channels. I think we should all do that. There was all this talk about the Pearly thing situation. This is what Black YouTube should be doing. We should be promoting other people's channels. And if we like their content, of course, and we should bring our crowd of people to everyone's channels that we can, when we can, so often, so that we can share in the wealth. Because I know for a fact that a lot of us are sharing some of the same audience. People who like my program, they follow Jason Black, they follow all these different people. I know it because I can look at my analytics and tell who you're watching. Y'all didn't know that. I can tell the people that you like in my analytics. So my question is, why don't we build up our own networks and conglomerates amongst ourselves? And then, because what Pearl has done is she has used content that Black people have been making for a long time, and she's capitalized on it in a podcast style, when we could be doing this ourselves. This is the problem, though. This is an off-beaten subject. One of the problems is that we got a lot of people on the YouTube streets who want to make content, but they refuse to show themselves. If you really want to take what you're doing to the next level, show yourself. Put a production on. Put a real show together that gives people value. That's a side note. Anyway, Jedi, I agree with you. There's something emotional that happened and something terrible happened. Let me ask y'all this question. Have you all ever traveled somewhere, it doesn't matter, in the States or out of the States, with people that you might have known or you didn't know that well, and something shady was happening, and you knew that you had to kind of get away from them? Did you ever experience that, Jedi?
Well, I mean, I just graduated from college. And earlier in my years, I was part of a campus ministry. I'm not going to say the name
Yeah,
the
you
group,
can be private.
but I
Yeah.
will say that, when we kept going to these retreats and kept going doing these things, and what might have been like the doctrine, or also just in terms of the conformity that people were kind of conducting themselves and everything like that, I realized I had to disassociate. I had to learn the hard way, because I had to go through a lot of therapy to, to kind of get past from that. But one thing I do believe is that, again, like I have this phrase, like, listen, it's something that at this point in my life, I've gone through many like different traumatic experiences, especially with people or groups, right? And then I have this thing like, hey, if my Negro spider senses are tingling, I'm out. I'm like, and they say, hey, Mike, where you going? I'm not here. I'm going. Peace. Because at this stage, the world's getting more crazier and crazier. But I think, again, it's more prioritizing, more understanding your surroundings, even the more subliminal things, the social conditioning, gaslighting, in terms of people in your relationships and stuff. Be mindful of those small things, because you might be questioning your own reality, and actually putting yourself in situations you're going to regret.
Wow. Before we end, Real Aaron Collins, have you ever encountered same scenario where you've, you out with people, or you on a vacation somewhere, and you kind of was like, this person over here is kind of shady, and I may need to stay away from them? Have you ever encountered that?
I can't honestly say that I have. I'm not saying that situations haven't happened. I mean, I can think of some things that have happened while maybe I was already at the location where I was going to. There was I don't know if I ever told you this before, but I was once part of a group. We actually went to New Orleans and helped rescue people after Katrina, and I was there.
I think you did tell me about that. That's fantastic.
And yeah, I happened to see the aftermath of that, and the way it was affecting some people there, it had me thinking. I'm like, yeah, I can tell some of these people are impacted very differently. So definitely got to keep an eye on that. But as far as anything, well, that right there was you can say was a potentially life-threatening situation, because we were behind enemy lines at that time. But I think to answer your first question, I believe there was a level of jealousy within Shanquella Robinson and her group. I'm not going to use the word friends, because this has proven that they were not her real friends. And I'm still believing that they plotted, they huddled up, they plotted this whole thing, they set her up. And then the fact that the one thing that really rings in me is that one of them used her credit card. Now, you do realize that credit card can be tracked. They could track that every
Wait a minute.
purchase.
Wait a minute.
Every
I forgot about that.
Yeah, every purchase.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I forgot about that. Wait a minute. What, how did I not? You're saying that one of them was a lady, one of the women. Allegedly, I want to be fair. Allegedly, one of the women used her credit card after she was already deleted.
Did they get back to the States?
So when she was deleted and they went back to the States, one of them had possession of her Shanquella Robinson's credit card, allegedly trying to make up with this alleged credit card. I must say that for the purpose of how YouTube is.
Right.
And lawsuits as well.
But
is that what you're saying? How did I forget that? How did I miss that? I'm sorry, Aaron. Yeah, continue, but I'm just blown away by that.
Because those every last purchase or invoice and stuff that could be tracked. I mean, if they were to pay for this like just with cash, because cash leaves no paper trail, then maybe they could have did their dastardly deed and got away. But If that credit card wasn't indeed involved, if it was in credit, they should be able to track them and use that. And then the fact that one of the guys, I think Kareem, you said, was at the girl's parents' house, at her parents'
I think
house,
it
and
was either I think it was Khalid Cooks or
Khalid, yeah.
Malik Dry. One of them was, I think one of them was a really good, was supposed to be a good male friend to Shanquella Robinson. The family said that he was hanging around when he got back, and then when they got the conflicting information about how she was deleted, all of a sudden he stopped coming around.
You know what I think he was doing? I think in a way what he was doing around there, I think he was kind of like casing the joint, so to speak, ear hustling to see who knows what. So kind of like just trying to got his ear to the ground, like saying, okay, let's see who knows what. And then once he got his information, he probably dipped and was like, okay, they're starting to know something, so I gotta bounce. That's what I'm thinking. And then there was this other video that a guy made while I was there. He claiming that, well, I had just gotten here, so I didn't see anything. But the way his body language, I think I can read people's energy too. His body language was off. There's something that was giving guilty vibes about this dude. And I'm like, okay, bro, why are you so pressed? Okay, no one said that you did anything, but you awful defensive about this thing. Well, what's up with that? So.
Well, this is what we're going to do. Let's stop it right there. I'm going to get ready to end the program. Right now, what I'm going to be looking for is to see exactly what we talked about today. Will the family take a civil suit against them? Will they get an international lawyer and go after Mexico? I'm going to call the Empower Esquire personally. I should have probably had her on this program today, but I'm going to consult her and talk to her personally, because she did tell me when I had her on those months ago that the family could go after the hotel and all those that were responsible for their safety in Mexico. Okay, the hotel, security, the whole 9 yards. And she did say that there's a possibility that they could go after them civilly, but I don't know. I'm not going to act like I'm not going to say that I know. I don't know what the law is in that. I don't know what the statute of the law is that says that you can go after someone civilly in this situation when something actually happened on another country's soil and not American soil. That's the problem here. And just like Judge Joe Brown said on The Real Dana, and shout out to her and him, I will be getting him on this channel at some point in time. He said that the problem is that the United States doesn't technically have jurisdiction in Mexico. That is true. But they sat up here and told us a few days ago that they didn't see any evidence, that it was inconclusive of injuries. Said that she had swelling of the brain, but never mentioned anything about a broken spine, a neck, or any of these things. Something doesn't make sense. And when it comes to black people, we can't never get no damn answers around this damn place. And I'm sick of that.
Tell the truth.
With that said, gentlemen, thank you for coming on board. Jedi Mike, thank you for coming on board. Make sure you check out his channel. The Real Aaron Collins, thank you for coming on board. Thank you, Deborah Guns. I think I had Chaos Rain on here. Alan HB was on here. Thank you. Do me the biggest favor, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the channel and you just come over now, go ahead and subscribe.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Hit the bell of notification and share this video in your Twitter, your Facebook, and your community tab. If you're a content creator, share it. That's one example of how you can grow a channel, when everybody shares the content and tells other people about channels. That's the same methodology that you should be using on your own channels to grow and build. Because this is the thing, Black YouTube could grow and become something great. The problem is YouTube algorithms don't always promote certain type of videos. Now, if black people are cussing and at each other and fighting with each other and going back and forth, they'll promote that all day and every day. But if you're doing videos where you're talking about solutions, positive stuff, you're having decent conversation, these types of videos get lost in the shuffle. That's why Jason Black was right. Whether you like Jason Black or not, but he was right when he says YouTube has its favorites and they'll boost certain channels. Don't get caught up in the subscriber numbers because they will boost who they want to boost based on if you fit the profile that they want. I've seen it firsthand myself. With that said, gentlemen, thank you. Queen of Virtue, thank you for being here. India, thank you for that super chat. Golden Melanin. Everyone, MA Magazine, Empress Goddess, Golden Melanin again, Jill's Chocolate Boutique, everybody in the chat room. When you come to my channel, make it a habit to write people's names down so that if they have a channel, you can go right over and subscribe to their channel. Make sure you check out the gentleman up here, the real Aaron Collins, and Jet I Mike 7. Great channel, great man. I've been on panels with him over on, what is it, Black Men Unfiltered a few times, Sir Hale, Speed Network. Those are the particular channels where you will find me quite a bit hanging out on during the week, having discussion because of the fact that they deal with these issues around male and female relationships in a respectful way, in a very intelligent way. Nobody is being berated on their panels and all that sort of stuff. No, they do it in an intelligent way. So that's where you can find me at. You can find this brother as well from time to time. Make sure you come over and check out the channels. We got Red Squid X File. Hey, Red Squid X, I got to tell you something. I'm about to create a channel called Classified Black. I'm about to get my conspiracy theory on and delve into the areas of UFOs and mysterious type stuff. I got it all planned out. Haven't created the channel yet, but I got it all planned out from my look, everything. And what I'm going to do on that channel, Red Square X, is kind of like what you do, but not in the same way, is that I'm going to look at these issues from both angles. What's bullshit and what may be true. So it's going to be interesting. That will just only be uploaded videos, not going live on that particular platform when I created it. Anyway.
I didn't know you got your stuff like that info, man. I didn't know you were into that.
Well, what I want to do is talk about, is there other life in other planets? The things that are happening down here. Another theory, there's a brother that I'm going to have on a channel called Question Everything. He was saying, I know we got people that's religious here, but this is the thing. If you look at our planet on this earth, there are vicious things down here that can hurt us. Animals, plants, you name it. This is the question, and I'll be talking about this on the Classified Black channel. A lot of times we've been taught that if you do good, you go to heaven, you go to a place in the sky, right? And that hell is in the ground or under the ground. The theory is maybe we're already in hell and we don't know it. And maybe this place called the Garden of Eden was a place where humans got vanished out of and we got thrown down on here on this planet called hell with all these species of things that can kill you. You got poison. You got poison. Look, think about it. We got earthquakes. We got all these disasters where people die or get deleted. So you ask yourself, where was the Garden of Eden? Was it actually where we think we are now? Or maybe it wasn't not. I don't know. But I do know one thing. There's a lot of hell type things that's happening on this planet to us. So maybe we already are in hell. I don't know.
I agree with that.
Question Everything. He's going to be on this channel. We're going to talk about that. But see, those would be the sort of kind of subject matters that I'll get into on that channel as uploaded videos. Mysterious type questions that make you ponder thought. Who knows? We believe that UFOs are coming from outer space, but what about inner space? Are there things that's coming from inside the earth that we don't know about? I don't know. Are there portals? Are there multiverses? Are there dozens of versions of Jedi Mike and Real Aaron Collins and everybody? Is there other versions of us in other parts of the world?
Are we in the main timeline?
No,
right,
I would say
in a different timeline.
I was wondering to myself, you ever notice how when you watch these space movies and how they always land in open cornfield or somewhere? How come these aliens never come to the hood? How come you don't ever see them on the south side of Chicago or South Central LA or nothing like that?
That's true. That's
Yeah,
very
why?
true.
Why? Like you see vampires in Transylvania. Why they not in Brooklyn? You know what I mean? Like why they not?
But check this out. I'm gonna blow you away with this one before I end. I was listening to Coast to Coast AM. I didn't realize this. Do you know that there's been hundreds upon hundreds of people that have gone missing mysteriously in a lot of our state parks? And when they've done searches to find them, they can't find any evidence of how they vanished. Not a track on the ground, nothing. Weird stuff. Anyway, that'll be coming soon on Classified Black. Y'all have a great evening. I love you all. Thank you for supporting the channel. We got a little goof. We got a little wacky there for about a minute, but that's not, we're gonna stay on the topics as always on this channel. But that was just a side conversation there. Everybody have a great evening, and y'all take care, brothers. Take care. Thank you. And once again, I appreciate those brothers coming on board. I appreciate all of you out there watching the program. And we're going to keep this thing going. I'll probably go live again this week, Wednesday night, maybe even Friday. We'll see how things go. We'll see what breaks out in the news, what breaks out there, what areas that I haven't covered yet of stories. But I thank you. You all make this program what it is. You make it go. You make it go, because without your support, I would be up here obviously talking to myself, but your support motivates me to say, what is the next level we can take the show? What is the next thing that we need to delve into? And I am going to be bringing guests on, people that are inspirational. Now there's a sister on YouTube who is she trains women on how to use weapons, because there's an increase in women getting weapons to protect themselves. And I'm going to bring her on to talk to her about how prominent this is. It has increased amongst particularly Black women in general, but particularly amongst Black women who are deciding to learn how to use weapons intelligently and getting their license to carry and the whole 9 yards. It is increasing. At a time when we also have people being harmed by gun violence. But that's a topic that I want to talk about. I also want to talk about a topic around, why do we have people who come to YouTube to simply grift other people and sell you on pie in the sky stuff? There's so many different things we want to touch on this program. And with that said, I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. And like I said, we're going to do it again very soon. Y'all take care. Peace.
You are listening to Information
Peace.
Man. Please make sure to subscribe to
It's been great today.
It's been great today. Thank you, everybody.
The Information Man show is over.
Yes.
truth.
Information is power.
I want to thank everybody for watching today. The Information Man Show thanks you.
That's right, everybody. The Information Man Show enjoys everyone's support. I see my man Yapo is in the house. Peace to you. Good to see you as always.
Tell the truth.
That's right.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Well, everybody, the show is over. Peace.